All right, we're rolling.
All right. Hello, everybody. It's Aaron Hedrick and Keith Mukai with Crypto Sanity. Long time no see. Life goes on and bear market crushes spirits, but we're just back. We're decided to do more than just our usual text messages back and forth and jump back on and talk about some stuff that's going on. So what we're seeing right now is quite a good little bear run that's going on, or sorry, bull run. We've done the bear run so far, and things are looking good. I think we're seeing enough support at some of the at the drops, and we're hitting some of those resistance layers and pushing through. Quite a bit to go before we get to really move on. But what are your thoughts, Keith?
Well, so here's the Bitcoin chart. Um, it's pretty stable. I mean, since this big run up on when was this? April 12th.
Hmm.
And
The
there's been
huge run up of April 12th.
yeah, and if you kind of like get lost in getting too zoomed in, it looks like these big move up, big move down. And you kind of get caught up in the daily or hourly drama of it. Like we're driving up now, we're at 8370. Um, but you just got to keep stepping back and let's get to the 4 hour. It's nice to return to these levels, but
Hmm.
we weren't that impressed with these levels, a couple weeks ago in March. Um,
Yeah.
but I like it. I feel pretty good about it. I think we've got these lines on my chart here. Let me pop all the way out. So we've got this long-term Bitcoin upward channel,
Hmm.
that it broke out of in the peak and has broke below, in this crash. And, so I don't know that this channel is still relevant at all. But, listening to guys like Coin Mastery, Carter Thomas, like
Big
this
fan.
downward
Big fan.
trend. Yeah, Carter's the man.
Yeah.
This trend during the decline is the big one to look at. And there's nothing magical about these trends. It doesn't mean that this is a magical wall that we're going to smash into and fall off of. It's really just an indication of like, here comes some drama, and we'll see what's
Yeah.
going to happen. Um,
Yeah, and
but
I agree that like a lot of the TA gives us a good like snapshot into what, traditionally markets do in general, but since this is very speculative and Wild West and there is, manipulation going on, or, you get one FUD laden news article or whatever happens and people react really heavily on that. Um, so it gives us a good idea, but it's nothing to really, bet the farm on.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and so far, we're kind of bouncing around. So I've got a line here at about 8,400. This
mhm.
middle line is 8,138, and then down here it's 7,946. And we've kind of been just bouncing around those three levels. We're driving up. I would imagine we probably bounce back down off of 8,400 or so, bounce back up off of 8,140, and then there's that big scary trend line, and we'll just see what happens. But I'm
Yeah.
feeling pretty confident, and mostly because of all the stuff going on in the altcoins. Like while Bitcoin is kind of doing its thing and showing some strength, um, the altcoins just going crazy.
Yeah, I think that's where people get scared and they'll just, sometimes park their stuff in Bitcoin, or they'll try to, completely go off the market. And then when they come back in, they go to Bitcoin. So it always, when there's bearish sentiment, I think Bitcoin dominance really starts to surge because it's the easy out until we get fiat pairing to a lot of other stuff, which is coming. But it's the easy out and it's the easy in. So that's where you see a lot of that. And people will park it in Bitcoin and kind of wait. And then like, okay, things look good. Let me get some more altcoins again. So I think that's my prediction at least.
Yeah, and if we take a tour through some of the altcoins that I've been paying attention to lately, like while Bitcoin is kind of hovering more or less in neutral, like you said, people like me are getting excited and greedy and starting to dump more of that capital into the altcoins, and that's just
Same
driving.
here.
Yeah. So here's Cardano. If we pull way out, Cardano just got its butt wrecked
Yeah.
in this crash, and this more recent chunk of it looks great. It's shooting up, but it still has a long way to go.
Yeah, if
Um,
we're ever gonna get back to any kind of all-time high. for
Right.
sure.
Right.
Um,
Whereas another big boy, Stellar,
Yay, Stellar!
Stellar's had a huge shoot
Totally a Stellar
also.
shill. Yeah,
And it's not that far off from
not at
its
all.
highs. So I have kind of mixed feelings about this. Like, that's great in that Stellar is like making it close to a comeback and hopefully will keep pushing beyond its all-time high. But for a short to medium term opportunity, I worry that it's going to slow down once it starts reaching these all-time high levels again. Whereas something like Cardano, it's got so much further to go that
Hmm.
it can just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, even though it's moving a little slower right now compared to Stellar.
Yeah, and I guess if you wanted to get into the details, I mean, Stellar has their project is much has a much closer horizon, whereas Cardano's still pretty damn far out. And I think a lot of people bought on hype of Cardano, and then when they realized, oh wait, this isn't even going to come around anytime soon. Maybe there's some psychology to that, how people reacted. I don't know. Um,
Right,
I,
right.
I'm the long hodl on Cardano. I mean, it's too bad that I bought in, a few months ago. Didn't buy it in January, but it was definitely around February, and it's definitely below that.
Yeah,
So
I don't remember the number, but I think I took Cardano down to like a 70 or 80% loss.
I definitely did that myself. Definitely, it
Yeah,
was
so
80 something percent at some point. So it's coming back, but nowhere near there yet. But hey, we're all excited to see some green. Actually, green almost all over the place. It's like even the daily winners for my portfolio or all of them, I should say, except the only ones down today in my portfolio are Gollum down by 1.6% and Binance Coin down by like 1.7%. So,
yeah, and a lot of that is deceptive, like, oh, Gollum is down a tiny bit. Well, big whoop, it jumped up a huge, deal.
yeah.
I,
Oh, I
I
know.
can't.
That's just the daily, which shouldn't really give you an
Yeah,
indicator of actual.
I have to take the auto scaling off the chart because this insane, it doesn't show up very well, but this insane wick that went all the way up to
Oh, geez. Yeah.
22,000 satoshis, 22,600, before it came back down to a more reasonable level, just skews the chart completely until we kind of get it out of the view. But yeah, a lot of the daily activity is kind of nonsense. Like, okay, let's look at Monero. So Monero's had some nice, suddenly just pumped up, but then, okay, it retraces a tiny bit before powering up again. But like on this red candle, time period, it's like, oh, Monero dropped whatever, 1, 2%, whatever that is. Like, that doesn't mean Monero's doing poorly. It just means it's kind of rebuilding, regathering after
Hmm.
this huge move. So, these short term, like 1 day numbers don't mean that much.
Yeah. And, I mean, maybe some people are making some good money off shorting some of these, but it's like, when they short it and then it, bulls past that and above, it's got to, hopefully they get a little FOMO from that. So take
Yeah.
that, shorters.
So let's see. Let's take a tour through some of these other guys. Loop Ring,
Mm.
just killing it. So this was my. I had already bought a little in, and I was at a loss. I bought in more as it dipped lower. At this point, this was at 4,500 satoshis, and it is just crushing. It's at 92 or so, 9,200 satoshis. So I've basically doubled that bit that I bought back in.
Yeah.
Um, and then similarly, so Loopring is decentralized exchange type functionality. AirSwap, same idea.
Yeah. That pumped hard. I
Also,
got some
yeah,
good
just
slams in this last week.
shooting up. Loving it. And then some other guys I pay attention to, Walton.
Hmm.
Walton has not really done much in this recovery phase. So either that means it's like sleeping giant, or it's just, I don't know, hibernating.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I'm
and
still a
then
fan of Walton, even though it's not making the same comeback, in parallel with everything else, obviously.
yeah, and then VeChain is a little bit like Stellar in that it didn't actually bottom out that hard. Um, and the recovery here is nice to see.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, and then I'm a big Neo fan. I'm hugely invested in the Neo ecosystem. It's nice to see Neo moving up. Gas moves with Neo. I mean, they're practically
Yeah,
the
I'm a
same
fan of Neo and
charge.
Gas. Obviously, they are intertwined, but I actually took and invested directly into Gas, um, just kind of looking at its history, and I was like, oh, well, it's
Yeah,
part of the
yeah,
utility. It's the actual utility, so why not?
right. Um, all right, we can move on to Verge.
Speaking of pumps and dumps, let's talk about Verge. Oh,
So this is the run up in their super secret announcement. They announced that it's Pornhub and Crash, and little bounce here.
yeah, dead
What do
cat
you
bounce
think?
right there.
Is the Pornhub news being underappreciated? Is this just a buy the rumor, sell the news, a normal dip? What's your take?
I wouldn't call it normal because I feel like it kind of there was a pent up demand. People really wanted to see what was going on, and it's like, oh, okay, alts are starting to move, and Verge made this big, pre announcement, and there's a lot of Verge fanboys out there, but I was never really impressed with like their tech and their roadmap. I was always like, okay, well, I think other people are going to do it better. It's privacy coin and whatnot, and so they make the announcement, and then it's like, hey, we're partnered with Pornhub, and everybody, I was like, oh man, that's actually really good, and it took me a few seconds to go like, wait, nobody pays for porn, like, or not anymore, at least. It's like, so I think that's the sentiment that people were like, yeah, okay, buy the hype and then sell on the actual news. Because it did not recover well at all. Because I figured, okay, it's going to drop down, it'll bounce, it'll level out. I think we're still seeing quite a bit of a drastic downward pressure going on there. Now, there could be stuff that there's enough Verge fanboys out there that it might actually maintain. Verge might have, I don't know, there's some joke going around on Twitter. They're changing their name to Triple XVG or something. I was like, oh, cool. I don't know if that's going to save them, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of belief in Verge and a lot of faith in it. Um, you know,
Yeah, and
but I
I
catch heat on Twitter for saying that. That's I was saying. I was on Twitter and Instagram being like, no, yeah, dead cat bounce. This is done. And but you know, people that
well,
are
and
hodling are of course don't want to say die.
it's kind of a ridiculous partnership in that okay, Pornhub has to put some effort into integrating the crypto payments. It costs them some engineering time, et cetera, et cetera.
Hmm.
Okay, except Pornhub, when whatever the parent company is that this deal is actually with, they basically it was a pay to play deal.
Yeah,
Verge paid them, for this deal. Like it's really more like they bought a marketing campaign from Pornhub. They bought publicity more than anything else. And
yeah,
I don't know, like there's millions, maybe billions of dollars going through the porn industry. So money is coming from somewhere. Cash is coming into the industry from somewhere. I don't
yeah.
know if it's true or not that
A
you
lot of
know
it's ads. It's like they know that it's like, okay, this stuff's streaming everywhere for free anyway, so they run a bajillion ads on their site, and I'm sure there's some people that pay what do they even cost? Like some sites are like $3 or $4 a month, or $2 a month, or something ridiculous like that. It's so I think
for
this
just 10 cents a day you can have these boobies.
that would be a good marketing campaign.
But anyway, I just
Yeah,
think it's kind of ridiculous that they paid for this deal.
yeah,
I think it would be received differently if Pornhub said, we evaluated the space of cryptocurrencies and we really liked Verge and we've decided to make that our first crypto payment option.
yeah.
And without having, basically they put out bribes. The CEO of SPANK Chain, which is
Mm,
also in the crypto porn space,
yeah,
said
like the spank chain.
they said Pornhub offered us the same deal and we rejected it. We weren't going to pay to buy our way in to their platform. So I think it's just a
Yeah.
payday for Pornhub.
And you know what? I think, well, yeah, obviously it might even be, and don't want to catch extra hate on this, but it might just be the most clever exit strategy for the Verge team ever. That maybe they're sticking around, but maybe they saw this pump and they were like, okay, let's liquidate our stuff before the news. I don't know. I don't know the insides of that. Um, if the team sticks around, I don't think that's as much true. But that actually brings in the whole spank chain idea that I thought before. I was like, yeah, always bet on porn, right? I
Right,
get
right.
that, but spank chain's whole thing is for webcam girls. Like that, people have to pay for. People have
So
to. That doesn't happen for free.
yeah, so
Not
so
that I
I
know.
dropped the screen share so I could check in on Spank Chain and make sure that it was safe to display. It is safe, so I'm going to screen share back.
Oh, tread lightly.
Yeah. So yeah, Spank Chain is like a functioning cryptocurrency right now. They are hosting these. They're in beta. They're hosting webcam girls, and right now their platform supports tipping in. I think it's just Ethereum, but they're building out support for other cryptos.
Hmm.
Um, and we had talked about this. Like, I don't think Pornhub would have really chosen Spank Chain because in some ways Spank Chain is competing with Pornhub itself, as in their
Yeah.
Spank Chain is setting up a network where they can be the not exactly the provider, but let's say the enabler for that, like for webcammers
For
to
the
set up a
content
stream.
creators of web.
Yeah, yeah, and I shouldn't say webcam girls because the Spank Chain lineup is
Equal
men and
opportunity
women, and yeah.
banking.
Um,
Oh, look, a foot job's only 10. That's nice. Yeah.
but
So
yeah,
I think that Spank Chain, because their team is moving forward, and as we've discussed a long time ago, I was a huge fan of just kind of like their humor approaching the market. They didn't have a white paper; they had a pink paper, and it was
right,
written by none other than Spank Toshi Nakabuti.
right,
I just thought, I was like, well, that's clever already. Uh,
yeah,
yeah. So, oh, they got white paper right there.
yeah,
Yep.
um, yeah. So, all right, moving on. I did want to show you quickly Switcheo, which
Mm-hmm.
is I think it's the first decentralized exchange for the Neo ecosystem. So they beat Nex, the Neo decentralized exchange Nex, which is coming out also
Mm-hmm.
to market. So the whole point of the decentralized exchange is it looks like a normal exchange, but you connect your wallet directly to the exchange, which sounds dangerous, but it's pretty easy
Mm.
to create a brand new wallet just for use on the DEX, the decentralized exchange. And so
Yeah,
when you
I'll
make
also connect my wallet to anything online, but yeah, as you
yeah,
say, do only what you're going to trade with.
right,
Don't, not financial advisors, but I will advise you to not link your wallet to anything online.
right, not
Uh,
your main wallet.
yeah, no.
Yeah, so I created another wallet, transferred a little bit of gas into it, connected it to Switcheo, and then you see your balances within the wallet that you've linked. And then just like anything else, you can start putting in bids or accept offers. And when the trades are done, the resulting coins can be instantly transferred into your wallet. I mean, they're
Mhm.
like there's no sense of like transfer fees. You don't have to worry about leaving your coins on the exchange. Like they only exist in the DEX contract, or with like the click of one button, you can just transfer the balance back into your wallet, and then you can confirm them
Nice.
there. So right now, it's only been up for about 2 weeks. There's not that much liquidity, so there's not much trading going on. Um, it's inconvenient to trade in Neo because Neo isn't divisible. So like
Oh yeah.
you could buy like 0.25 worth of a Neo. You could spend 0.25 of a Neo, but then left in your contract will be the remaining 0.75 of a Neo, and you can't transfer that back to your wallet because you can only transfer a whole amount, a whole unit.
Frustrating.
Well, so instead of trading in Neo, you just trade in gas, which is divisible.
Oh, which
And then you
again,
can,
I straight up bought gas, so there you go. And I do
yeah,
like
and
the value and the way it's moved historically.
yeah, and then the only problem here is that the liquidity is even smaller on the gas-backed exchanges. So you can see like the trade history, like, oh look, there was like an hour and 15 minutes where there wasn't a single trade.
Yeah.
you know, um, so it's still in its infancy, but decentralized exchanges are the future, and this is the first one for the Neo ecosystem. So I bought some Switcheo, which you can. I did this exact trade, Switcheo for gas,
Hmm.
just to see how it worked. It was a good experience.
And how are your gains?
I bought before the last 24 hours, so I'm up about like 50 something percent right now on my
Not
Switcheo
too
bag.
shabby.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So check it out. I'm a big fan of the Neo ecosystem. Decentralized exchanges are super important for the future of how things get exchanged, and it works. It's working right now. And the
Yeah.
Switcheo token, it has a tiny, tiny baby little market cap. Um, so as this exchange grows,
Mil. Hmm. No.
yeah, as it grows, like I feel pretty good about this being a 10x. Not a financial advisor. I could be totally wrong. It could go to zero and you could lose all of your money. But I put a little bit of money in this, and I won't be surprised if it 10x's or 20x's.
Yeah.
20x would put it at $320 million market cap. That's not insane for a decentralized exchange. And also, I believe they are partnering. They're going to use WAN chain to do cross-chain swaps with ERC20 tokens.
Oh.
So
The
Switcheo
WAN
will
chain's been
be,
moving.
yeah, and so Switcheo in theory should be your one-stop shop where you can do decentralized wallet-to-wallet transfers for Neo and NEP5 tokens, and
Yeah.
also Ethereum and its tokens.
Well, I know decentralized exchanges are going to be big part of the future. The thing is, who's going to do it right, and they don't even have to do it right. Who's going to get the crowd first?
Well,
That's
and I mean that's why like I bought some Switcheo. I've got some Loop Ring. I've got
Loop ring.
AirSwap.
Yep.
I've got Zero X. Like I don't
Hmm.
care who wins. I think they're all gonna get. They all are slightly different. I'm just
Well, this
grabbing
is the thing.
all of
We're
them.
picking between the Yahoo, the Google, the Ask.com. Like, it's like the search engine was freaking revolutionary, obviously. And decentralized exchanges are going to be pretty big too.
None of them are Ask Jeeves.
Hey, that got bought up. Whoever created Ask Jeeves walked away happy.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. But
Uh,
again, the investors were not happy. It was the creators were happy. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's one of the things is you got to bet on who is going to. Well, they're all going to run up. I think it's just you got to know when to bail out and who to focus on if you're going to go long term.
and if you look at the market caps for like Zero X, Loop Ring, they're so much bigger. AirSwap is pretty small,
Mm-hmm.
and Switcheo is tiny. And so I like all of them, but I really like the opportunity of the ones that have the small market caps,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
that just means they have more room to grow.
Well, excellent. Well, I think that's a pretty good review and catch up. And but yeah, I think I've been, a lot of us, a lot of people in general in the crypto space, the hodlers, the strong hands, the people that are weathering the storm. I mean, this bear market cleared out a lot of weak hands, cleared out a lot of people. Um, yeah, I would love to be that guy to be like, I'm in it for the tech, always have been. I know this is a good investment opportunity. I'm fascinated by the tech. I'm excited by the tech, and I actually am happy investing my money in that tech. With that comes the chance for you to make money. So I'm quite happy about, getting the right exit strategy at the right time, trying to find the right winners and finding the long haul hodls. But I do have to give a shout out to a lot of the crypto community in general that, going on Instagram, going on Twitter, even during the bearish of bear markets, at least there's some good memes, good humor, good spirits. People are there just to, prop each other up, cry blood together, it's
Yeah, yeah.
what we do, talk about how wrecked we all are. But yeah, I think it's been pretty good. So, yeah, happy with our crypto community so far. And I hope we're all in on the early stages of the next big parabolic run.
Let's hope. Let's
Yeah.
hope. All right, we are about to hit our 30-minute cliff. We did not make our 15-minute goal.
No, we did not make a 15-minute goal. We're trying to make smaller, concise ones, guys, but we have so much to say. But that's our bad. So, all right, guys. Well, it's Aaron and Keith signing off from Crypto Sanity. Thank you guys. Take care and stay sane.